So now we go underway with our next race. We're back to X30 Senior. It's heat number 4, Group C versus F. And here is your starting grid. Patrice Kowalski and Mathis Marchand will line up on the front row. Kowalski on pole. Quinten van Leeuwen and Otto Peikkinen round out row 2 ahead of Hubert Petit and Tobias Norman. Lucas Ostricourt and Cinnamon Year round out the top 4 rows, with Maxime Blanchiment and Dinan De Vos completing the top 10. Pepin Steiger and Angelo Meli round out row number 6. Maxime Prudent and Nick Blankensport round out row 7. James Merkelberg and Gaetan de Brabantera round out row number 8. Row 9, Augustin Boulet with Esteban Walgrave, with Tom Schultz and Kenneth van Mokerke rounding out your top 20. Arne Schoen here, Luca Montebello, Moritz Moore, Jesse Polderdijk and Casper Norman round out the 25. Runners and riders that will start this 10-minute plus an additional lap into the adventure into the unknown. So onto the formation lap we go. So far we have had 3 different winners from 3 different races. So according to the live timing, I don't see Maxime Blanchiment and Maxime Prudent have made it out onto the starting grid, so they might be starting from the exit of the pre-grid itself. So once the drivers get running, then they will be released and let go. Mathis Marchand already has a second place finish to his name. So does Patrice Kowalski. Air temperature now 26 degrees centigrade and set to climb to highs of around 27, 28 degrees. We're in Ostricourt, about a 20 to 30 minute drive from Lille. So the red lights are ignited on the starting gantry as we are set and ready to go racing once again. So Kowalski and Marchand, front row of the grid. Second time this weekend that Mathis Marchand, who leads Group F, will start on the outside of the front row. So into the tram lines, revs rise, lights are on, lights are out, we're green, we're underway and racing. And a good start from the front row, but Mathis Marchand will be left a little bit high and dry. Quinten van Leeuwen dives up the inside through the opening corner. Hubert Petit already through, as well as Tobias Norman on Otto Peikkinen, as Maxime Blanchiment and Maxime Prudent have not started. Oh, big incident at the back end of the field. And the 2.75 of VDK's Moritz Moore is at a standstill at turn 3. If that cart does not get going, could be a possible full course slow procedure initialised as everyone diving to the inside through at turn number 8. So the field makes its way through towards the final sector. Dives happening at turn number 10 as we go down the hill once more. And at the minute, it is still going to be Patrice Kowalski that I think will be leading after the opening tour. And it is the case. Quinten van Leeuwen closing in the slipstream into turn 1. Marchand, Petit and Norman rounding out the top 5 as their line astern through turns 1 and into 2. And here goes Tobias Norman up the inside of Hubert Petit through at turn number 3 to take 4th position away. But Patrice Kowalski at the moment leading the way into the next double left through the undulation. The cart goes over a little bit of a yomp and then down a slight change of elevation. The biggest change is when they go through turn 10. And look how aggressive Quinten van Leeuwen was through the chicane. So Moritz Moore, unfortunately, has retired on that opening lap after contact. But Kowalski and van Leeuwen pulling away into the distance. They are leaving the field in their wake. And the gap is nearly 9 tenths. Lucas Ostricourt on the TD cart running 6th. Fastest lap so far. 57.634. We're only on lap number 3. Hubert Petit again tries to get the counter-attack on. Tobias Norman going through into turn 3, but was not able to facilitate it, as the Czech Republic driver on the TD kart just behind is waiting for the opportunity to get through. Won't happen at turn 7. Might be a possible dive, and Petit up the inside of Norman. This is going to allow Lukas Ostricourt to get through. He gets through, and so does Otto Paikkonen. Senemanier is not too far away from this battle either. Swings to the outside at the turn 10 right-hand hairpin. Down the hill they go once again. Signals being given by mechanics at varying different points, whether it's the start-finish straight, heading into the final complex. Slight glance over the right shoulder by Patrice Kowalski. Matis Merchant has bolted away from those behind him as they started squabbling. Merchant got the opportunity to clear off into the distance, and now he's going hunting. But Quinten van Leeuwen is keeping Patrice Kowalski guessing where he might go for the move, as someone kicks up the dust coming out of turn 5. And there was an attempted dive a little bit further back. Let's see that Pepin Steiger was being confronted by Casper Norman, possibly through that chicane. But at the front end of the field, well, Matis Merchant, he was 8 tenths behind the two in front. Now he's half a second and just posts the fastest lap of the race. So Merchant on a tear. Kowalski leading the way. Van Leeuwen and Merchant not too far behind. Hubert Petit up the inside of Mick Blankenspore. That compromises. I think that was Senemanier in the 248. The small, diminutive stature of the VDK Racing driver, but now it is going to be a case of Van Leeuwen's got to pull the trigger very shortly. Otherwise, if he does not capitalise, then the man behind him will. Oh, and that was a little gesture. Quinten van Leeuwen saying to Matis Merchant, right, I've had a little go, now it's your turn for an opportunity. And he's seen how quick Merchant has been. Merchant last time round did a 57.603. 57.310 and 57.410 for Kowalski. And, whoa, Merchant under 57 seconds. 56.825, lit up the timesheets purple in sectors 2 and 3. Meantime, Otto Paikkonen through on Lukas Ostricourt. Wheel to wheel of the pair coming out of turn 3. Ostricourt to the outside, Paikkonen to the inside, and the Finn holds the line. So coming up to 4 minutes and 35 seconds, plus an additional lap remaining in this fourth heat. So looks like we've had another 2 retirees, Gaëtan de Brabandera and Esteban Valgrave. They have fallen by the wayside. Casper Norman being hustled by Hubert Petit, and Casper Norman, I think, just sent it. 5-second time penalty, 2.53 Dinan de Vos. I would imagine that may be for causing a collision, waiting on confirmation and clarification. However, meantime for the lead! Matis Merchant gets through on Patrice Kowalski. Van Leeuwen's strategy was spot on. He knew that the 2.50 from KCR Racing had the waft and the momentum in his favour. So 3.5 minutes to go. It is anyone's guess as to how the top 3 will end up come the checkered flag, but there's still quite a few battles up and down the order, quite a few pelotons starting to show their hand as to see which one out of them is the top dog and will then start breaking away. Well, Otto Paikkonen has started bolting from Lukas Ostricourt, and that gap is over half a second. Merchant holding on to that lead. Kowalski just staying in the wheel tracks for the minute. Still knows that there is time left to play with at the minute. Just to see the speed they carry through turns 6 and 7 is quite mightily impressive to witness. And then you see all three drivers bound over the chicane, left rear wheel up in the air, bit of hang time, and then it lands on the tarmac. And then as soon as they do that, hit the accelerator pedal, off you go, line it up nice and neatly. Lap 8 completed. New fastest lap last time round was by Otto Paikkonen, and Paikkonen goes again even quicker than anybody, but then Senemanier returns the favour in the 2:48, 56.744 for the driver currently placed in 7th position behind Mick Blankensport. And it's Casper and Tobias, the Normans. They are swapping places like KCR musical chairs. That's for 8th and 9th at the meantime. And then they've got Hubert Petit right on their 6. Along with that, James Merkelbach. Luca Montebello has been making steady progress in the meantime. Up 10 places, now running 12th and climbing the order. 2:53, push to pass penalty, 5 seconds time penalty post-race for Dinan de Vos. So, still, it's going to be difficult to see how some drivers... Now, there has been a change for the race lead in the meantime. Patrice Kowalski has got through on Mathis Marchot, who's now starting to try and fight back. And Van Leeuwen is there or thereabouts. He's in within lunge range. 1 minute plus an additional lap. So next time round, it'll be 2 to go. So 12 laps of this 1.45 kilometre circuit here at Ostricourt. And Kowalski constantly looking over the right shoulder, as is Marchot. Van Leeuwen just keeping the racing horse blinkers on in the meantime. So 2 to go as the leaders now make their way through the final corner. They've got to keep their eyes behind on stalks behind them. Black and white warning flag for race. And there goes Marchot. Dives up the inside as Patrice Kowalski has just seen a black and white warning flag from race control. Go up on the digi flag. He's now through on Marchot. Van Leeuwen so close, millimetres away from clashing sidewalls with Marchot. There was a little bit of dust kicked up. I'm not too sure if there was an incident through turn number 3 just a second ago, or someone went off track. Timer has hit 0 in the meantime, so through the chicane, now into the right-hand hairpin. And once more, it is the case that Patrice Kowalski is going to lead us on to the 12th and final lap, followed by Mathis Marchot, followed by Quinten Van Leeuwen. Otto Paikkonen has closed in on that lap alone. So last lap is underway. Marchot trying to keep in the draft of Patrice Kowalski. And Van Leeuwen goes a little bit wide, trying to get the over-under here at turn 3 on Marchot. And, well, there's a little bit more gesticulation from Marchot, who's not exactly happy with how Patrice Kowalski's staying ahead of him in the meantime, but they come through out of turn number 7 into 8. So Marchot is going to find that he's the one under danger at the moment. Into turn 10 they go for the final time. He looks over his right shoulder, sees Van Leeuwen there. There's Paikkonen, there's Horsika as well. But it is going to be the way that we're going to have a 4th different winner from 4 different heats so far. Out of the final corner, Patrice Kowalski takes the win ahead of Mathis Marchot, Quinten Van Leeuwen, Otto Paikkonen and Lucas Horsika. The quintet at the end of the race covered by 1.3 seconds. Mick Blankensport, Senemanier, Tobias Norman, Hubert Petit and James Merkelbach round out your top 10. Casper Norman and Luca Montebello round out the top 12. We had a Pepin Steiger, Arne Schönherr, who made up 7 places from 21st on the grid. Finished 14th under Kenneth Melvin-Kirke. Augustin Boulet Tom Schultz, Jesse Paul de Dijk, Angelo Milly and Dylan de Vos running out the 20 finishers. And while two non-starters in the form of Maxime Blanchimard, Maxime Prudhomme, Gaetan de Brabandera, Esteban Walgrave and Moritz Moore retiring on the opening lap. 4 winners from 4 different heats. Who's going to win Heat 5 coming up next?